Hello Capricorn, welcome back to my channel, The Vibes Inside. I am Mariana. I'm here with a reading for you, the first one in the year of 2024. Happy New Year if you were celebrating. It has already been some weeks, but I'm saying it anyway. Hope you're all well. So I have pre-shuffled the cards. These are the cards and these are drivers. I felt like I should take out the drivers and read them simultaneously to understand like what is going on somehow. So first of all, this card, when this came on the table, and I always look at the screen because sometimes the screen is like shrine, like sometimes something stands out to me. And today it was actually this feeling of like a cross, like the feeling that being at a crossroad, or that there is something to be chosen. And I felt I needed to have a driver to explain what that crossroad is. Then, because this was the first card I shuffled, it was the first one who came on the table. When I was shuffling this one, I had the Star and the Seven of Pentacles to come to show itself as flyers. I don't know what this is still. But what's on it? Like there's this like a flaming cycle, or like a bit. I see it a bit like the Star card, right? That the Star suggests that you connect with something that guides you, like a north node, a north star, a flaming home or something. And you have an antenna that is picking up on this, right? As well as we have like the diamond in the middle here. And here we have a flame, an eye, whatever you want to call it. I just feel that there's something about the star that is here. And it could be a star that is controversial in the sense that, I guess that normally a life purpose or life mission, or the road to take. Like usually there can be many narratives here. Narratives from society, narratives from your parents, from family, that suggests that one path is better than the other. One path gives you money, status, success. You go to school and you do all the right things. You go to college, university, you get the degree, you get the work. And when you get that, then you have the happy life you want, right? And I just feel like this crossroad is a turn, like a turn that is taking you somewhere else, perhaps. The Star card and the Seven of Pentacles suggest to me that that maybe you have figured something out about what your star is. I almost said Sagittarius. Capricorn, of course, but maybe there's a Sagittarius in your life, or maybe there's something from the Sagittarius reading that may make sense for you. The point is that it's like there's something that like feels like a radio signal or something that is, I feel like maybe becoming stronger and stronger, and eventually it's like you can't ignore the fact that you are at a crossroad. The signal can indicate values, right? That you may have done all the right things. You have kept your focus. Capricorn are very good at that, right? I feel like with Capricorn, something is always at risk. So I have to keep focus, right? I can't get derailed from my end goal, so I keep my focus on that. And I'm very determined to go there. And then maybe you get there. You have the degrees, you go to work, you work hard. You have always been very invested. But then maybe you are not happy there. Even though you've done everything, you've done everything you were supposed to do. Or everything you were, asked to, or you have listened to the advice, you have followed the rules, you have made the steps, things like that. You've been committed, invested, loyal, and all this stuff. You've done all that. But there could be this incoming feeling here. Maybe in the past, because this is on the left, an incoming feeling that maybe this is not right for me, or I want more, or I am more. I am more than this, and maybe I want to show people, right, that I'm more, or I want more, or I need more than the current. Does that make sense? Something like that, I feel like, is here. I know there are several transits during this weekend, and I don't know if I'm picking up on one specific here. I also feel like I have to say that when I do tarot, it's like we are many different kinds of people out there. We have many different kinds of opinions and many different kinds of lives and choices we make during every day. So when I pick up on an energy, it's just one of those. This is a general reading, but it will not be for everyone. It cannot be. It is, I pick up on an energy. And that energy is maybe not, don't make it fit. I've said this before in another reading. Don't make it fit, don't wear it. I think it was Leo, or the full moon in Leo. Don't wear it if it's not yours. Don't take it if it's not yours. Don't make it fit. Don't use it as a Bible. The tarot readers, they just pick up on a moment in time. But you can change your mind tomorrow, right? That is part of the this realm, you could say, that you can change your mind, or someone you may be dealing with could change their mind. That is how tarot works. It is a moment in time where something is playing out so we can see it, I interpret it, I show it for you to see, perhaps, and then you decide, right? If you feel like you are in whatever situation I have here, then maybe I say something that changes your mind, or maybe I highlight something that you can take from it and move forward, right? Maybe this idea of the crossroad, maybe you have ignored it, that you are at a crossroad, that you have been thinking these thoughts, you have wondered, things. That is what it is. It's general. I don't tune in on one specific person whom I know and whom I have an agreement with. Not in these readings, right? Okay. I don't know why well, maybe that's part of the reading, that who are you listening to? Like if you're looking for advice, or if you are a seeker in life, the crossroad usually is the feeling of being divided, like the Two of Wands, which way or path is the right one for me. Maybe you have been seeking advice. Maybe you're seeking advice if you listen here. I can only tell you, in a moment in time, something. From that place on, it's up to you, right? So that is how it works. Your mind is not set in stone. Your emotions tomorrow can change in a different way, and you choose to go along with what you've always done, or you make a drastic new decision. That is your choice. But let's have a look at what's here, right? But maybe there is something about who are you listening to? Are you listening to your own gut feeling, your own intuition, or are you listening to your fears? Are your fears guiding you? Or is there someone else here, like a clairvoyant, someone else outside of you who is lending you some kind of view of a situation, like I do? When we have someone like that, it's even more important to have discernment. Again, don't wear it if it's not like, don't take it if it doesn't feel right, don't take it. Like never, no, don't feel the push to do something if you are not ready. The crossroad can indicate you are just facing something. You just recognize something. It doesn't mean you're ready to take the new jump. It just means that you are processing emotions. Okay? Maybe you have been processing these emotions for a long time, and you are actually ready to go for whatever this flame here, this flaming star in the middle is. That is I really feel like I should say that. With the star and the Seven of Pentacles, this suggests that you have either you're following an advice, I hope it's your own. You feel an urge to go in a direction, maybe following certain values, recognizing you have different needs. You are a different person than just a good worker, perhaps, or a stable good worker. There are other things that you want, right? That you are more than that, or you are more than a provider, right? That there's more to you than this. And needing something, wanting something. But that puts you on the spot here, because people normally rely on you doing certain things, right? Or being in a certain way. So if you follow this voice or this inner feeling, people may react to it. It may change your circumstances. The more you follow the star, the more seeds, that's the Seven of Pentacles, the more seeds is required. You have to invest in it. So if you want a change in life, you have to invest in it. It can be your money, your time. It can be changing your ways, doing differently, doing something different. But we can't have a change without necessarily putting in certain seeds towards it. Sow the seeds. whether maybe you look for different partners, maybe you look for different friends, sow the seeds for some, make the ads, do the homework, read the stuff that is necessary for you to make a new move. I feel there's something like that, and that could be the crossroad that you're changing paths. Okay, let's. I feel like I want to start here. The center card is always important. Let's have a look. So 3 of Wands. 3 of Wands is usually a card that talks about waiting for ships to come in. This is a waiting, like that is what the card normally talks about. We see him standing holding a wand here. And then there are 2 wands behind him that he's not paying attention to. As I just said, the 2 of Wands is a feeling of being indecisive. I don't know which path or which project or maybe which person to invest in. What is the best one? We see one is low or smaller than the other. This suggests that there's one that potentially is better than the other. But that's exactly the point, as I said. According to society, one of these is viewed as better than the other. Success, being, stable, being strong, being like a constant provider or a constant putting in constant effort, like something is, adored or something is viewed or described as the right, good choice. And one is less, like one is less than the other. But then again, what does it require? Like maybe this one that seems good in society perhaps is a very tough one to keep up. It's a very difficult one to, and maybe you don't have your heart in it, or as I said, your star is calling you maybe towards this one, He's standing with his back turned, so there could be like I don't want to face this. Like when someone has and again, he's looking towards the ship that is supposed to come in with the idea or the product or the person or something. This suggests that someone is hoping for outside validation or outside advice. But inside or in your subconscious, you already know, I think. There is no reason for waiting or procrastination. You already know, I think, that one is supposedly, and in society and maybe within your family and so on, the so-called best choice. But maybe you have a flame for something else here. Maybe you're hoping that they are coming in, maybe that they will show it, like it would show itself with the next ship. I had what was that? Was that the full moon? There was something about ships also, maybe Sagittarius. I did say Sagittarius once, didn't I? Something about, there was metaphors of ships also. In the last part of the reading, maybe go and look that up, Because, you know, ships can sail towards you. That's normally what this card talks about. That we're waiting for ships to come in. But they can also sail away from you. Maybe it even talks about what are you watching? Are you watching something come towards you or waiting for it? Or are you watching something sail away here? Because you know, this can be ego choices, right? If we choose from ego, again, ego is usually something like we're doing the things we're doing because it's supposed to keep us safe, but not necessarily happy. It's the best way to do things. It's the best way to handle whatever pressure we may be standing in front of. But it doesn't necessarily make us happy, right? So I get that feeling here with that card. I think you already know here. You have already felt it, right? You have already... Door to personal healing and happiness, exactly. Like there's one way that could be better than the other, right? One way is leading you maybe to great success, money, you know, status or something here. And personal security, you know, money is usually security, right? But then there is another one that potentially may have this here. Door to personal healing and happiness. And I feel like that's the crossroad, right? Because, well, I've said this before on my channel, that in order for us to have personal healing, happiness, that maybe we need to make a choice, right? And this suggests that there could be a place or a feeling in you that is not happy, that feels unhealed. This is when the door is closed, right? When the door is closed, you don't find that healing and happiness. In order to open it, you may sacrifice something. You may need to sacrifice like feeling low. You have to challenge your feelings of low or not good enough or undesirable, whatever that is here. You also have to sacrifice unhappiness. Like, again, you can't go towards personal healing and happiness unless you really want to. As I said, you don't wear it if you really are not ready, you know, to go on a healing journey. As I said, maybe this ship is coming in here to take you on a healing journey, but you are still unsure if you want this or if you feel like you can actually do it. I still get the feeling of like the crossroads has already been here. Like the opening here of the door will challenge your unhappiness, you could say. Because you can't keep the unhappiness. You know, the grumpiness or unhappiness or victimhood or wound. So your wounds, if you open this door, your wounds, grumpiness, criticism of the world, cynicism, you know, everything about this is going to be challenged. You're not just going to open the door and then everything streams in and is bliss and harmonious and everything. You would say you have to tidy up first. You have to get some of this out, and to take some of this in. And it takes steps. It may be, you know, maybe it takes weeks, years, I don't know. But to go down this road here, and that's what I feel like the crossroads is about. You feel the crossroad. The crossroad is an invitation that there is something that doesn't feel right in your life. So you are invited to open this door, right? You're invited to go here. Let's have a look at why you are invited here. Storm warning. Yeah, the driver here is usually the storm warning card as a driver is the feeling that this is maybe not going to be an easy ride. Or that if I'm not doing this, my life will stay like this, right? That my life is going to be what I am involved in, what I am doing is going to break whatever foundation is left of something here. The only way is through or forward. Storm warning can suggest a breakdown. We see how the pillars have been torn here. This can talk about an environment you may have been in, or a person who seems like they can come in out of nowhere with this typhoon here, or this hurricane and lightning. That lightning can strike here, unless this could maybe be a health thing also. That lightning can strike here, unless you open up here and do something. And because there's such a difference between these two cards, this is a very tumultuous, threatening, dark, cold, destructive energy. This is calm and easy and flourishing and beautiful and colorful, right? These are almost opposites here. So, and this can be a driver. So this could, this could be a feeling of coming from a depression, coming from abuse maybe, or something that this has been in your life around you. It has destroyed something maybe here. And in order for you to get better or feel better or have a better life, you are called towards a crossroad that you can continue here, of course, with something or someone, or you can try to open a door to somewhere else. And I guess you may have felt this maybe in the past, recent past, or maybe several years back, that there is an invitation here. This feels still like a second guessing or procrastinating. Like there are different ways of moving forward. Again, this could be what society dictates, but when you engage with this, you feel like this. This is what it gives you, right? On the other hand, if you try to do this, like follow the little one here, it's going to give you some of this, but your fire, let's say your fire is usually like the drive, right? The go-getter energy would like maybe the drive in us can be programmed, right? That we are supposed to use our life force energy on something specific because we have been told and educated that this is the only way. So if you want to follow like the biggest one here, it's going to give you this. if you want to follow the smaller one, there's a potential for this here. But then it's interesting. This is like an either or. Either I do this or this. Maybe you have found a third one. That could be your star here. So this could be interesting to have a look at this. What is the third one? Because he's turned his back to this, you know, and he's holding on to another one and looking for opportunities or looking for a way of manifesting this. Turning the back to this could suggest something like, I'm not accepting an either or. I'm not accepting a life that is either this or potentially this. It could be a realization that life is not like that. Like life will maybe be a mix of some of this. I've said before also with like addicts, for instance. Like if you have been let's say you've been a drug, you have been into drugs. The drugs give like a momentary absolute high, right? And that is very seductive and very, as of course, addictive. That's how we want to feel all the time here. That's how we want to feel all the time. But then the low comes, right? Then the low comes, the withdrawals, everything here, right? And this is a very tumultuous life, up and down and up and down and up and down. I believe that when addicts go through a process of healing from addiction, it's going to be a more boring life, you could say. It's going to be a life that is without like these outer opposites here. It's going to be more, I think it can be viewed as a, well, I think it would, maybe boring. That because this is missing, but this is maybe also missing. And I think that you can get addicted to this up and down and up and down, actually. You can get addicted to the controversy or it's just as much a part of the addiction as the drug is. It makes you feel alive. And this makes you feel threatened. Life, death, right, life, death, you know? It's a very intense kind of life. And I think Capricorns know all about intensity, ruled by Saturn. It's an intensity. And to get out of that, or to, again, the crossroad, if you are laying that kind of life down, you will need to find a different one and choose it. That could be why he is turning his back to this high and low thing here, holding on to another one, and this is higher. Like he has put it as a priority. He sees this as a better choice, and he is looking now for ships that can help him with that. That could be new friend groups. It can be maybe a new work. It can be maybe rehab facility, I don't know, rehab facility, or it is a new environment perhaps. It could be a new home. Maybe you are contemplating traveling here. Moving away from something that only gives you high and lows. It's intense, and the intensity is addictive in itself. I want to say, if you don't know about this, you can look it up. Intermittent reinforcement. Like this is one of the most addictive but also what I believe destructive energies that you can be around. That you get reinforcement sometimes, but not all the time. So you attempt and attempt and attempt, and then you have a bit of success. That's like the gambling devices in like game shops, right? You put in the coin, you play the game, something shows up, but you don't get, it's not every time you get, a return. It's not every time there could be something about here with the North Node and the Seven of Pentacles that you can invest in something that only partially or intermittently or seldom returns something to you, as these games do. But what if you could put in your seed into something that every day yields a return? This can suggest that maybe you put in the effort in you instead of work or a person or a hobby or a pet or a friend, so-called friend perhaps. Because if they only present this to you, it's not really friendly, and it's definitely not self-loving. So this could be that I choose to go somewhere else or try to find something else where I'm leaving this behind, this high and low thing. I'm leaving it behind because I have seen what it does. There's a promise of this, and yes, I may find it somewhere, But I also know there could be a downfall of something here. Maybe you have been through a dark night of the soul, whatever this is. I'm not saying that this is solely about addiction. I'm saying maybe you have been, this is a driver, right? Maybe you have been through the ringers of a dark night of the soul here. And you're realizing maybe it's time to take steps towards something else here. And in order for me to do that, I'm leaving something behind here. These two choices, I'm leaving those behind. I choose another one. This can be an attraction, a desire, and again, fire can be life force. Maybe it's something that is giving you life force and not draining you. Like this can talk about a very drained life force, feeling threatened in some way, right? Exhausted. It's dangerous here. So maybe you have figured out that I have to go somewhere else to actually replenish, to get my power back. Let's have a look at this card here. Six of Pentacles. Yeah, Six of Pentacles is a card of balance, fairness, harmony. This is a driver, right? As the Storm card is. I need more balance, right? I need people that see me as equal. What I want to invest in, this is Pentacles, Earth energy here. What I want to invest in has to see me as equal, treat me as equal, be, as I just said, I can't live off breadcrumbs. Like what I bring to the table has to be valued. It has to be seen as important. It has to be, I'm more than just a provider, right? I'm more than just a money cow, or I'm more than, I need to find something that values me. So I turn myself away from something, again, that maybe highs and lows here. I want more balance, stability, maybe peace here, harmony, right? That what I invest my energy in here, like my life force, what I invest my life force in has to yield balance, harmony, some kind of fairness, equality, something like that. So you're looking for some kind of balance here, and this is now forcing you or inviting you to turn your back on something here that may have been your life, like these highs and lows here. It may have been your life for a long time, but it's now forcing you to find another way or choose to use your energy on something else here. So I get Hestia, the goddess of sanctuary. No matter where I am home. The most sacred sanctuary is found within me. Yeah, this is like the star. Sanctuary. Or what I also sometimes call send zone or private place, you know, that there's something in you that is this northern star, this guiding light that is calling you home somehow, calling you maybe to peace, some kind of stability, something you need here that you can't find from the highs and lows or from the struggle. This can talk about fighting, right? That I've been fighting all my life. My life has been a fight. I've always been up against something. I've always felt there was an enemy nearby. I believe Capricorns, like this is quite a normal feeling for Capricorns since they were children. It's like Saturn is like that. It brings and that is just a life. It's a life of this. And but when we have lives of this, we also learn something about like who is a true friend here. We learn something about surviving. We learn something about licking wounds, feeling pity for ourselves or feeling destroyed, maybe broken. And it's not to say that there can be a way out. Usually when you actually figure out what this is about, there can be great rewards from Saturn as well. We can get lost in this. As Capricorns, I'm Capricorn rising. I know this energy as well. We can get lost in this and never get out. And that's what I feel like you're trying to figure out a way out of this. And there is no one who comes and gives it to you. Like that's also a Capricorn thing. It's never just given. You have to work for it. You have to choose it. Sometimes you may have to fight for it. You have to really, truly, as against Seven of Pentacles, you have to invest, choose it, go for it, take the steps. If you want to follow this new or this different route in your life. A route that talks about, home. Friendships you can rely on. Something balanced here. Something that is equal. Something that is fair and harmonious. The sanctuary here. That could also be what the ship talks about. Maybe you are taking a trip. I did say something about that in the full moon. I said something about silence retreats, meditation retreats. That this is that it can just any kind of vehicle. but you're choosing maybe to put yourself on a boat that sails you to calmer waters, that sails you somewhere else where you can find more of this. But again, it's a choice. You have to do it. Like you have to, maybe you need to move. Like if you live in an area that is filled with a lot of turmoil, perhaps, maybe you want, that could be what this is, right? That you have an inspiration, a desire, a fire here that now burns for a sanctuary. Something that is your sanctuary, that feels like sanctuary. No matter where I am home. So you're looking to have that no matter where you are. You're looking to be that stable, to be that whole maybe, or that you are aware that certain situations here are not giving you this, and you want more of this, right? The door that opens, and where you have this. So this, of course, it could suggest a person here who feels like your sanctuary. But this can also be like an inner feeling, as I said here, no matter where I am home. So it doesn't have to be, another person, another place, another job, it could be. I'm just saying that maybe this sanctuary is within you. And it means you have to choose you. And whatever that may be, if this is a health thing, it could be you need to reprioritize your entire life to have that balance that you may be looking for. So I'm not saying this is easy. That's why the feeling of a crossroad. The crossroad is never easy. It's never easy. Because the path forward is the one you have put all your energy into. Like this is what you have prioritized. This was your goal. As I said, that's what Capricorns do. They make a goal and then they kind of just focus and are loyal and they go towards that without questioning, without second guessing. This is what I want, right? Maybe your goal is this and you are very devoted to it and you're willing in that process here to make new attempts, to go new places, to look for calmer waters, to find new friends, new family. Maybe you leave. These could be friends. These could be, I don't know, desire-based activities. Let's say these are sexual relationships, maybe other kinds, as I said, and addictions can be very much related to fire also. But you're leaving it behind, but because it's not giving you what it is you're looking for. So it could be a goodbye to something. The highs and lows, and this can talk about competition, games, ups and downs, winner, loser, things like that. And maybe you're just saying goodbye to that kind of life that you have figured out. I know what this is. I know what that is. I know that it can provide certain things, but actually is not what I want, right? Now I'm looking for something else. I'm looking for an opportunity here, or a person, maybe a sign where to go. Where can I find these people? Or where can I find this community? Where can I find this work? You just know you have to do something else, right? You know that there's this feeling that I'm not in the right place or with the right people. My job is no longer fulfilling. The goal I set when I was 20 is no longer the right one. All the priorities that I have put all my energy into is maybe obsolete. This can also be the feeling of, well, I have been taking care of the home and the kids for 20 years now, and now they are grown-ups and they have moved out. So what am I going to do with myself now, right? Now I want something that is something I like, something that balances me out here. Something that is my sanctuary. Something that fuels me or satisfies me. Something that can, it feels healing and it feels happy. That is what I'm looking for. Let's see the driver of this. It says here the Prophecies of True Power, Tekla. I call my power back from all times and all places. I am my own. So this is the driver, right? This suggests also that maybe you have been powerless in a situation. Maybe you have to. We almost see it here as well as the drivers, right? Being in like a real turmoil, trying to find more balance. And the way you do it, you call back, so you reclaim some of your power. Here you are in a very dangerous and a very, maybe a powerless situation also. Like the element against you. Like if you were caught in a storm and there's only you there. There's nobody else to save you. There's no help, no tools, nothing. You could feel that you were up against an element here that is way more powerful than you. And we are. Like Saturn is like this. Saturn is a very big planet. It is the feeling of being up against like a crazy beast of some kind. Something that has the power to throw you to the ground. If you keep dealing with it. So again, this can be a person. This can be a work situation. A very challenging one. This is a very challenging. It's even, I want to say, like it crosses limits. It makes it can throw you into survival mode, right? And we may ask ourselves, why are we constantly getting ourselves into these kinds of trouble? Or somehow I end up with people like that, or a job like that, or in my family I experience this again and again, like, things like that. And we, like, the environment, those around you are not going to change anything about that. The only one who can do that is you. And I think you're trying to here. You're trying to find that sanctuary, this place where I am more at peace, where everything is more balanced. And the only way you can do that is to reinforce yourself here against whatever this is. I'm not saying building walls and so on. You're not seeking more trouble. You're seeking peace or seeking health or whatever this is. You're seeking a place that is like this and not this, right? So becoming very aware of, like, how does this make me feel, right? if I'm if I'm mm, if I'm around something like this, how does it make me feel? Can I even relax here? And I don't think you can. Like in the beginning, if you actually come across this, you can't relax. You have to adapt to the what I call the boringness of this. That there is no turmoil here. There's no enemy here. Here there is an enemy, right? A challenger. Here there is no challenger. There's no challenge here. It's accommodating. It's peaceful. It's a comfort zone. It's nice. It's warm. There are colors. There's warmth and beauty and everything here. That's why it's a sanctuary, right? But the sanctuary can, especially if you have been through something here, it can feel almost hurtful. And like it can be difficult to take it in if you come from this. It takes a bit of adaptation, maybe a lot of adaptation. It depends on what this is, of course. If you have felt very powerless in this situation here, then you are trying to get some of that power back. But this is what you're doing here. I call my power back from all times and all places. I am my own. And this idea of being your own tells me something about individuation. I have already touched upon some of this with some of the other readings. What was it? Scorpio, I think. It had a headline that said something like, it's a matter of autonomy, right? That this idea of being your own here and having your own limits and boundaries and your own expression, your own voice, and your own light, like you have your own values, human values maybe, even this is maybe religion, like maybe you have a different religious belief. Maybe that's what you're choosing here, right? You are going somewhere else here because it's going to give you more harmony, perhaps. Leaving something behind where it's just not like the door to personal healing could come through that reclaiming of power and your own autonomy or your own sense of boundaries, or again, you decide. If you have your autonomy, if you have your boundaries up, you can create that sanctuary. Like as I said, the sanctuary for me is like this sense zone. This is something inside you. It's a feeling. It's a feeling of calm and peace. That you enter this place here where when I enter this, there can be certain values here. Certain boundaries, certain choices, certain beliefs. Maybe, as I said, maybe it's really a religious belief. In this case, we could talk about sinner and saint. But the sinner and saint is. Not all religions have that. If you grew up with this, you could either be a sinner or a saint, or, But some religions do not have that. They don't see the world like that. So it's a totally new world to adapt to. Maybe that's what you find here. You find others here who share something with you where you feel more at home. You're looking for it. You feel more at home. You feel more accepted. It's more relaxing, safer, kind, friendly. So if this is not someone around you, it's something you're building inside you here, the sanctuary. I've talked about the Zen zone before, that we all need one, I think. A place inside that is calm and friendly and understanding. And this could also talk about building an inner voice that is kind and friendly and supportive and everything. And you are your own. I guess you are your own. Maybe you've always been on your own, but in this case, you are your own. I also feel like, well, sometimes if people go through things like this and end up having post-traumatic stress, for instance, they are their own. Because others who have not had this, they don't get it. Like they don't understand how this may change a person. Like if you haven't had a storm in your life, a big one, a life-threatening one, you will not know what it's like. It doesn't mean that you can't have more peace and harmony and happiness in your life. It just means you really have to choose it. And you can have a lot of therapists, they have to specialize in whatever this is to just have a clue about this. If you're dealing with some kind of aftermath here, and you're trying to find your door to that happiness and healing, I think everyone with PTSD, they are trying to find this door out of this hell feeling, right? Because this feels terrible, very dangerous. It's very frightening, life-threatening here. Feeling. And how do I get back to my feeling of more, maybe peace or harmony, tranquil, relaxation, without the turmoil? This is turmoil-free, right? The balance here. How do I get that after something like this? And yes, you have to follow something in you that is guiding you. What is tranquil and peace for you? What does it look like? What is in it? Can you describe what a sanctuary would be like? What is here and what is not here? What needs to be taken away here so that you will feel this? What needs to go from this so that this is going to come in or be found? What does this hold that this doesn't? Becoming very aware of what that is and then seek it. If you want to follow your true north, you put in the seeds that I will actually go there. I will create my sanctuary. Maybe this is a place, in the woods or something. And you can travel there or go there. And when you sit there, I don't know, with a blanket and a little chair and maybe a glass of red wine, and a good book. Maybe that's where you feel your sanctuary is. And others may not get it. Others may not understand. I know that some people, they choose to jump into the water and sit at the bottom of a swimming pool because it's silent there. Like sometimes they can't hear this. And others may find that this is strange to do that. What are you doing down there? But if it's helping you in some way to block out, like block out whatever this is, then I would say go for it, even though others may not get it, right? I want another card on this Three of Wands here. Yeah, I get Ace of Fire here, and that is of course the one that you hold here, right? This has to do with one life force, your life force. It has to do with the stabilizing of what you want to invest in, how to use your life force. This can talk about a new desire, a new inspiration, a new motivation to do something specific here. And it has to do with you, I feel like. To put yourself in the car or on the ship, go somewhere. Or this can be an inner journey, right? But you are now, you focus your life force now on something specific, this one. And what does that mean? Well, we have the lantern here. The lantern for me is usually the one that the hermit takes in his hand and he's wandering to look for certain answers. I see this also a bit like the star. You have a spark here, an inspiration or a desire to follow something, to build maybe something here. Maybe you want to build a shrine, Maybe you want to, create a group, maybe you want a sanctuary of your own, or maybe you think, but there are others like me, right? And we all need a place like that. We need a place that, I need a place. I want to focus all my energy on, I don't know, maybe it's your home, right? You want your home to be, or what you're doing in your home to create this balance here. Maybe it needs that you are getting yourself out of a relationship, maybe. Maybe you realize that I have already met this. I have already met this. That there are places, or even places with people, where if I go there, I do have this feeling. I do have this feeling. But maybe you have forgot about it. You have forgotten about it. You have forgotten about them. And now it's like, I set myself in the driver's seat. I go somewhere. I feel inspired here with that ace. This is now my choice. This is now my goal. This is now my mission. this is now my lantern, right? This fire here is not divided in 3 or more. I don't have, like so many people to satisfy, or so many, I'm not indecisive. This is a decisive energy that knows what it wants and it's going towards it, right? Using your life force energy to go towards or build something here. Maybe your autonomy. Like, this is what I will use my energy on. It's building my boundaries, my autonomy, individuate maybe. Doesn't mean you have to separate from all people and create, some kind of destruction. It just means that you are your own person. You have your own boundaries. And if I cannot have that in certain environments, it's not for me. I will leave, right? I will leave when I feel this. This can be the feeling of, like invasion. That something invades your privacy, destroys boundaries, destroys your, what is that called? Your normal protection mechanisms. That you are supposed to be able to protect yourself and say no. When you say no, it should be listened to and taken for granted, and But if that has been violated in some way, we can live with that trauma. We live with the aftermath of this. And when something comes in that is equally as forceful, or even just tastes of it, we can feel like we don't have what it takes to like keep ourselves protected. That's what I believe PTSD is about. It's because that boundary has somehow been destroyed, invaded. So the sanctuary has been polluted now. It's not your own. You don't rule there. Something else is mixed in and has even maybe taken the reins. So you could feel like you were under some other kind of energy's instruction or direction. This is where you get your own direction back, right? That you have pushed the enemy out of your sanctuary and you have regained some kind of autonomy or power over that private place of yours, that core, which should never ever be invaded, but I think it happens. Every day I think it happens. And every day someone is trying to heal from it. Because it feels terrible. It feels like you are not you, that you are controlled by something else. Dictated and controlled by something else. So another card on Hest here, the sanctuary here. So I get the corn. So the corn has, for me, different interpretations. It's nature. It's fresh air. It's walking in the cornfield. It is the fresh breeze. It is summertime. It is fertile. Something can grow here, right? It's fertile. The corn is eatable, so it's supply. It means that you are fed, you are cared for, you are fed. Corn is sweet and tasty. So you see, that is, it comes across a bit like whatever you can find here is a bit similar to the corn here. The corn is also a product of the seeds that we put in, right? That if we put in the right seeds, we can have corn. It's just, where do you put your energy? Do you put it in all the wounding and all the, like, keeping that alive? Or do you want to put in new seeds that can bring this forward here? Because then you have to, as I said, it's like you can't have, like, if you consider yourself as a PTSD victim, maybe you have gotten the diagnosis from someone, or you have gone through something very, like, terrible. This can be abusive, right, in some way, or enormous amount of stress here. You can sit and wallow in that. And I think we do. Like, I think there's a process where we do need to wallow a bit in this. And then we can get stuck in it, in the wallowing. It's almost like we drown in it. And maybe you have been in that for a very long time. But then it's like there is also another part of us, because this is like choosing death. I've said, it's a long time ago, I said something like, I made a reading that talks about to be or not to be. That's the question. So do you choose to be here, or do you choose not to be? Like, if you choose not to be, you choose death here. You choose not to be your own here. Then you are here. And if you choose to be, you're doing something about it, or you are realizing that from this point of not being to a point of being my own, with my own life and my own needs and my own desires and my own choices, I have to put in the seeds. And the seeds can be anything. It can be therapy, it can be rehab, it can be a new lifestyle, new health choices. That could be the more pentacle kind of approaches to something. Pentacle can also be you move, like you move to another area. Maybe you join other clubs, or join other clubs or hobbies, communities. That is a very pentacle-like thing to do. But you can also internally choose that your fire is now burning for your healing, right? It burns for your recovery. It burns for your sanctuary. It burns for your autonomy. It burns for you becoming yourself and actually being again alive. Being your own and alive. Living here. You can be living, or you can be death here. It's a choice. But when we wallow in this and we are lost in it, it doesn't come, and nobody is necessarily providing it and can't provide it. As I said, you can sit with a therapist if you are drowning in this. The therapist cannot really do anything about it if your choice is to stay here. I think it's a matter of readiness. Like, if you're not ready to leave this behind, if you haven't felt it enough, or Because what I think happened is that it brings you closer and closer to death, actually. And it has to reach a certain point where you, the person in question, actually becomes aware. And the therapist can't do that. The healer can't do that. The healer can only do so much. The person I'm reading for, they have gotten there, like they have reached the bottom perhaps and is trying now to get up again. They have made that choice. But I think it's about readiness. Maybe that's also why I said in the beginning that you can listen to all kinds of readers, all kinds of therapists, well-meaning friends or family. But if you are not ready, don't wear it. Like, you can't wear it. It will be false, right? It will be false. It has to come from you. It has to be a calling from your innermost wounded or most threatened self that is now urging you to get out. And you have heard that call. You have felt the crossroad here. You have felt it. You knew that you had to do something. But, knowing that you have to do something and feeling extremely low doesn't necessarily, and maybe also low in energy, doesn't necessarily, you have to do something, doesn't necessarily makes it easy. You just have to listen to that inner voice, right? That says that I can't stay here. This now becomes a life-threatening problem. I have to seek something else here. I have to invest my energy not in this, but in this, right? Instead, even though I don't know how to, I don't know whom I'm asking, I don't know even, as I said, if you listen to tarot, it's great. I hope it will serve you and help you. I would say that, again, coming from a place like this and wanting total happiness and joy, that is quite a step. It may take a while. There could be a divine timing here because you are healing in steps. And it will take a while. You may still not know exactly where you're going, but you're definitely feeling more inspired now. With the Ace of Fire here, you want that harmony. You're not going back to this. You want that harmony. It's maybe not here yet, maybe it's not quite here yet, but you're learning something about like real lows and how to move towards better or more balanced, more harmonious times in your life. And you are building something here, building something that is, I want to say, sacred to you. Maybe you're reclaiming it. Like, again, as I said, PTSD feels like this invasion. You're kind of shoving it out, detoxing that sanctuary of yours, and now you're building it to what you want it to be. Slowly but surely, there's corn here. Corn is fertility. This is not darkness, right? This is fertility. It has grown. It is growing. There is sunlight here. It's what you put in it. Like, what do you put in this place that is starting to grow? Do you put in fertility? Do you trust it? Do you trust that if you put your seeds in the ground that it will actually grow? Will you fertilize it? Will you stay with it? Be true to it? Own it? Walk the talk? Will you do that? Will you fight for it, maybe? At the fire here. Will you fight for your cornfield? The sweet, sweetness of the corn, the supply, the fresh air, the warmth of the sun. That is what it means. It means you take care of it, right? You make sure that it stays like that. You make sure that this is my place. Maybe this is a business, I don't know. Maybe it's a place, a garden, maybe. Maybe the sanctuary is a garden and you make sure that it's fertile, it is sweet, it is filled with flowers here. There are colors. The colors fuel me, right? The colors give me energy. I feel happy here. I feel safe here. I invest my energy in that instead of something else. And I don't, I'm my own here, so maybe others don't get it. I don't think always that family, well-meaning family and therapists and everything, they come in with all kinds of advice. But I think that if you have gone through something particular here, something where you may have, it has changed you in some way, that is a part of you now. It's something you have to live with. It's something you have to accept about yourself. It's something that has shaped you, designed you in some way. And we can accept it and be sad and wounded by it, or we can say, okay, I experienced that. I did actually experience this. It's not a fantasy, it's not an illusion, and it changed me. And I can't necessarily just go back. So the happiness you're finding here is a new one. It's a different one. Because it has to be a different one. And maybe others don't get it, right? They don't understand why you sit at the bottom of the swimming pool. It doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if that makes you feel better. If that makes you feel like that is the only place where I can actually feel relieved or free, or, whatever it is. I don't know. I hope it's a beautiful place, that it's not filled with, fertility can be very different from one person to another. I hope it's not criminal, right? I may have to say that, but it could be. I get with the sanctuary and the power here, I am my own, and the corn, I get a feeling of relief. Like safety or peace and relief. That's what I get from it. What that means, though, can be very different from one person to another. Maybe you find that your sanctuary is nature. Maybe it is a pet here. Maybe that's your best friends. Others don't get it, right? And it doesn't really matter. So you go and have that, and then you see what happens. From that standpoint, like if I continued the reading, we would probably have something else here going on. This talks about a big shift, right? And an actual choice from this to this, to go somewhere else and turn your back to something here. That maybe once that was your favorite thing to do, or the favorite things to be invested in. Maybe at that time, these were your goals. But they didn't give you balance, right? Now you have found a new one, and you're pursuing it, and it's in order to have your sanctuary, maybe a home. Again, you could have been a person who has been living alone, very concentrated on work. Now, what you are doing now is you are building a home with someone else. Maybe you want family, maybe you want children, maybe now that has become a priority. Corn could talk about fertility, right? Maybe you would like a child. Maybe you are investing now in building that kind of home because it feels more true to you. That is actually what I want. I really want to invest in. That is why I have done the things I've done all along. That is what I want. Maybe you go around the world. You decide, I want to work with elephants, or endangered or wild animals here. That is actually my true passion. That is my sanctuary. This is going to fill me up. That will be the sweet life I'm looking for. In a totally different environment, it will open up my door to my happiness if I can go and do this. Just an example, of course, right? But there is an inspiration, a motivation, a flame, a desire that is new. Aces are about new. It's a new desire. Maybe a new will to fight for something, or a new will to go this way, or a new will to like reclaim something here, or speak your truth about something. Maybe it's even becoming the sanctuary. Maybe you become your own sanctuary. That this is going to be like an aura around you, right? That you are your own sanctuary. That you are your own. That you are individuated. That you will go places that may not seem fun or good for others, but it's fertile for you. It's good for you. It's nurturing for you. It's all you want, all you need for more balance here. And there is this renewed, I feel like, maybe hope, but also this fire, right? Desire, willpower, maybe a stubbornness, I'm going to do this kind of energy. And nobody is supposed to stop me, because this has now become my true priority, my true star. This is the real reason, or the real me. And I'm going to invest. I put in the seeds for my corn here, right? Whatever that is, what it means for you. I don't know what your sanctuary is. Maybe you want to live, you want to be a surfer in Australia. Then you put yourself on the boat to Australia, on the plane. You sell your belongings, you move there. You buy the surfboard. You want to live that free life or something. I don't know if that is a place of healing For you, more happiness, more freedom, this off the grid life kind of thing. Maybe that's what you're doing then. That's what I feel like I have here for you, Capricorn. Putting in the seeds and starting to nurture them, fertilize them, water them. You have your focus on this. You want it to grow. You want to see that it's actually possible. It's possible. You will have that garden. You will have that beauty back. You will have that defense maybe back. And that is what you are now invested in here, Capricorn, if this resonates with you, right? So this is what I have for you, Capricorn. Can we have one more card on the corn and the sanctuary here? Because again, as I said, for some people, well, abundance is money, right? Maybe abundance for you is peace. There is no real answer to that. It depends on what you have experienced, I guess, what you're looking for. So I get 7 of fire here. Well, 7 of fire is usually a card that talks about, I want to say defense. It's like the unicorn here is on the top of a mountain here. There are these fireflies around him that potentially we could see them like they would attack him. And he has the ability to stand his ground and keep it off his limits, wipe it off. 7 of fire is, well, in the Rider-Waite Tarot we see a person who stands in front of a doorway. And there are 6 wands that is trying to come towards him, and they all have desires and wills, and they all have motivation to go towards him, and he has one wand to kind of fight it off. He fights for his entrance, for his door here, like he would stand in front of the door to his sanctuary, and then he fights off everything that tries to come and invade it, right? So the 7 of fire would maybe talk about the ability to fight off everything that wants to kind of invade your privacy or something, or at least invade your sense zone, invade what gives you peace and harmony, whatever that is. So certain choices you make here to give you peace and harmony, it would suggest that something may have tried to take that away, right? It has challenged it. It has been a problem. That's what I feel like with PTSD, for instance. Like it's invasive. Like it keeps, and it's inside, right? It's in your brain. It's in your body. So even if your family provides the best, they give you the beautiful room. There's flowers in a vase, right? They come with food to you. The war is still there. The storm is still there. It takes a certain amount of peace to actually dim it a bit, to dim it down. It takes patience. It takes investment. It takes trust also to be able to dim it down, and eventually perhaps figuring out how to build up that sanctuary for you again. In the sanctuary, we also talk about trust, right? We talk about feeling safe and trust and relaxed. It's something about the nervous system, fight and flight mode, things like that. Seven of Fire is this idea that I can fight off the things that try to come towards me, like with their own persuasion, their own projections, all their stuff. Like they can send all kinds of projections and meanings and things towards me, but I am able to fight it off. It doesn't really affect my sanctuary. It doesn't affect my core. It doesn't invade me, right? It's not taking over. It's not controlling or steering me. I have the ability to fight it off because I'm my own here. And the full moon in Leo can suggest this as well, this autonomy thing, that I'm the majesty of my inner kingdom. This is mine. And nothing is supposed to come in here and invade it, right? Because then I become powerless. Then I am up against something that throws me to the ground here. So I'm able to, that's what the sanctuary talks about, that you are your own autonomy. Like you can only get so far, then you will meet my defense, right? A defense that everybody should have. It's fertile. I'm putting in the seeds to grow this, to grow a defense that even in darkness here can protect me. I'm strong enough to do this. I'm strong enough to, and I'm telling people, right? Again, you are becoming it. I'm like my aura. Everything that I send out is that there is this autonomy somehow. This boundary, this zone that is mine, and it's supposed to be mine. It's from this place that I create. It's from this place. It's like your life force energy. It's your inner flame. It's your creativity. It's your sacred space. It's your shrine, as I said. It's sacred to you. It should be sacred to you. The corn here, the fertility, suggests for me that something is building, right? That it's on its way, it's building, it's becoming more and more apparent that you are you could say, no matter where I am home, right? That I have this. It doesn't matter where I am, I will feel that sanctuary. I can sit anywhere. In the middle of the busy train station, I can still feel, okay and relaxed. And maybe you haven't been able to do that before. And a determination to become this or have this or build it. And protect it also. Like you want to build it, create it, have it, but also protect it, right? And taking that responsibility for it, the responsibility for your own healing. This is the one I feel like I'm reading for here. That's the energy. and there is a crossroad. So there is this feeling that you have reached, either you are on the brink of, that you can't ignore this crossroad, right? That you are trying to move from this to this, not knowing how to, like, you have no idea. You just know you have to do something. If I should give you an advice from this to this, I would suggest, especially if you're quite exhausted here, I would suggest that you take time, lay on a couch or a bed, and you listen to 432 hertz music or meditation music, subliminals, things like that. 5 minutes, increasing to maybe 20 minutes a day. Just do that and see what happens, and give it time and be patient. That's what I feel like. Yeah, so I take another card here on the Six of Pentacles here, and I get idyllic times. Idyllic times, the garden, paradise. You see, like wanting the sanctuary, wanting Eden, wanting the Garden of Eden, the idyllic times back. You want, again, here there's no fun, right? Like idyllic times and storm doesn't go together. So to have idyllic times back from this place can be quite a challenge. And I think it is a choice also. Again, as I said, you cannot be a victim and mourn and sit in like cynicism and blame and something, and then have idyllic times at the same time. Like that is, like those vibrations don't go together. We can try to get it from other people. Like we can sometimes meet up with others that are more lively and fun and so on. But it doesn't mean that you get it. Like you will not internally have that unless you start choosing to have it. You have to allow it to blend with what is already here. Otherwise, this never ends. It's just ongoing. It feeds itself. Like the more sad you feel, the sadness feeds the sadness. What you focus on, you will have more of. And I'm not saying this is easy. I still struggle with some of this sometimes. I'm saying it has changed for me. It's not the same as it was. It has changed. Okay, I hope this helped somehow. Or, yeah, maybe you know someone who is going through something like this, and you just see them make what is seen as maybe strange decisions. But I guess it could be because they have to, right? So that is what I have. I hope this helped. Take care of yourself, Capricorn. I send you my best love and light to you. Bye bye.